Away we go.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chad.
And I'm Jack.
Hey, and thanks for joining us at Rocket Van. It's been a little while since we've done this, huh? What's going on,
Yeah.
Jack? Get in there. Yeah. So we wanted to try to update everybody and let everybody know what the Rocket Van has been up to, and we've been a little bit busy.
Little is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah. So
Lots of things going on.
yeah, it definitely has been a lot of things. School for me has been one of the really big factors in being slow and what we're doing on Rocket Van. It's bright in here.
It is.
Yeah. So I had my glasses here. Let me see where I put them. They have run off. That happens sometimes. But yeah, so we wanted to give everybody an update on what's been going on with the Rocket Van and what we've been doing. We haven't strayed away from rocket stuff, that's for sure. In fact, I have something I'm very proud of that I got for Christmas this year. This is a Falcon 9 coming into landing. Jack gave me this for Christmas. He built this. I think this is just dynamite. So he even so it's kind of funny because I think this might have been the one that Jack made this before. It kind of destroyed, but this was the one with the NASA worm logo.
This
I think
was 58 and 1058 went about a week after this gift was given.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not even.
It
a week.
landed.
I think it was like 2 days.
It landed, but then it fell over in really a rough sea state. So this is kind of really cool, this landing burn. And, I wanted to take the time to really show you what he had done. And on this one, he's done, so we have, why don't you get me the other one so you can see the difference between the two. So
I'd say I have improved just a little bit.
He did one for his grandfather too. I'll have to get you a picture of that one to show you. But you can see, so this one here was the first Falcon 9 he gave me, and it's got like the launch complex and everything. I mean, that's a Falcon Heavy, I'm sorry. But this one, he built it in with batteries, which may be how he did it originally, and then he changed it so it could run a little bit longer. But as you can see, you set that down, and you can turn it off. But
if not, you're changing your batteries about once an hour.
Yeah, so it does eat up some batteries because to get the look of it. But I do think that's a really cool look. We've definitely had a lot of experience with running them because I think they look really cool, and I'm quite proud of these. It's about the best gift you can give me. So I am trying to see. I'm kind of what you'd call a little bit blind, so I'm trying to put this up on my big screen.
Hello, Fusion Viper.
My big screen monitor. So let me see if I can duplicate that. I'll let Jack do the talking for a minute.
How are we today? We are back. There's been a couple updates in spaceflight and all things spaceflight. Starbase is fixed. It's back to normal. Everything's good. They did a Starship 2 launch. They did the OFT launch. When was that? In early December. Rocket Lab's been going crazy. They've been launching, I think, rockets just about once a month now. They've been doing a lot more than usual. SpaceX launched about 96 rockets this past year, which I think is a record for anybody. I think the second runner-up would be the Soyuz with about 60-something. And I calculated it the other day. Any SpaceX rockets are launching once about every 3 days. So you have 96 per 360 days. So you're looking at about, I think, 3 launches or 1 launch every 3 days. So I think that's pretty good for SpaceX. Rocket Lab had launched a couple flights. I think they were weather satellites. I think it was Rocket Like a Hurricane. There was Coming to a Storm Near You. I think they were all weather satellites. Let me see.
Yeah, they launched a few of them. Then I mean, we've had like a lot of different launches that have happened recently. Um, we had the one that was going to the moon. What was that, Peregrine?
Peregrine by
Yeah.
the Vulcan.
Yeah, that one unfortunately I think suffered an anomaly on the. It sounded
Spacecraft.
like what happened. What happened was I think the when they were going to close a valve, it didn't close all the way, which allowed helium, which was at extremely high pressure, to come into a pressure vessel that wasn't capable of handling the full load of the helium, and it ruptured. That's what I had heard on what caused that last one. Other than that, I thought it was working very well. Trying to put this on so we can see this particular setup. We're having a little bit of issue with, as we move through multiple screens, it kind of you end up bouncing a little bit of around on it. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, is to move this live stream across one of my monitors. I have two monitors, but it gets a little bit confusing as to where we're actually working. There we go.
Here it is.
So now we can see a little bit better. So because I couldn't read any of the comments before, but now I'll be able to read the comments and reply and stuff like that. So sorry about that. I want to talk a lot about SpaceX, and we got a lot to cover there. I want to talk about the second launch of Starship. We got a lot to cover there. There's so many things that have happened in the past since we've done our last live stream. I want to say, for all of those that thought SpaceX could not make a second launch happen there at Boca Chica, again, don't count them out. That's definitely something that their engineers, first and foremost, the iterative engineering approach, it works. It necessarily doesn't get understood by everybody when you take a test article and you're prototyping and you're building it and it goes up. So if we could talk about the second launch of Starship, I think Elon Musk came out the other day and he was in the Rocket Garden, I think, when he did it, wasn't he? At Olympus Mons. Yeah. So when you saw the Rocket Garden, I think they've closed the road since we went there. So you can't go drive up to the Rocket Garden anymore. Not sure if you can walk up to it. But so there's this big green field there with a little podium and stuff, a little bar and a house. So they were out there, I think, the other day, and they said what happened was Starship 2 would have made it to orbit, except for because it didn't have a payload. It had all this extra oxidizer. It had all this. I'm not sure about fuel, but it had all the extra oxidizer that they dumped, and then it went, so it blew up. Had there been a payload and they had expended that, it would have gone to orbit. So that would have gone all the way back, I'm sure, to Hawaii. I mean, that was just like a flawless launch. If you watch the first launch where you see a lot of engine-rich exhaust, a lot of stuff burning, that thing was like, I mean, just as reliable as my stove.
I guess that was a good problem that they didn't make it, because I think typically with a rocket you'd expect to not make it with a payload, but they didn't make it without a payload. So I think that's kind of a good thing that they didn't truly make it without a payload, because I guess some rockets struggle to make it with a payload. So that's always a good sign that you need a payload.
And if everybody in the chat could, because it looks like our screen is acting a little bit weird, at least my Mac is. If you could let me know if you're still hearing us. Because me know if you're still hearing us. Looks like Jack is getting it still on his, but I've got, just so you know, on mine, I've got like this really giant.
Giant is an understatement.
It's a giant wheel circling through our screen. So if you do see us out there, if you would go ahead and put something on and let me know that it's working, that would be great. Not sure all the things that I have going on, but I'm gonna try closing out some of these windows so I can maybe get it. Maybe Chrome. So if we end up having to bounce out of it and come back, we'll have to restart the live stream. But it does appear that we're having a little bit of
the glare is a bit much, but I think we can work through that.
Yeah, the glare is a bit much. There's a lot of lessons that we had learned. We were also using a different streamer. So to do it, maybe we can, maybe we can put this behind us. This may help with some of the glare.
There you go. Well, maybe not.
The light is blowing that out pretty good, but we'll put this behind us. Maybe that'll help some with the glare. It's a painting I'm working on.
Slightly better.
Slightly better. It's still, it's this time of day. The sun is always a little bit odd. So can you put something in the chat, Jack, and see, let's see if it's working. We may need to.
I think it looks good. People are saying they can hear us and see.
Yeah, so it's not updating on my computer, so I'm not sure.
It's working good on here.
Updating on my computer, so I'm gonna trust Jack's computer because it looks like he's got it coming streaming on it. So again, I'm gonna turn this off, but I wanted to make sure I showed this particular thing that Jack made me for Christmas. Thought it was really good. And that's what it is. Well, so school was a lot this semester for both me
and me.
Jack. He's been doing calculus, so he's had quite a bit of learning curve to do, but we are excited. You want to tell them the new news of what we just started doing?
We have started a FIRST robotics team. FIRST robotics, it's FRC, FIRST robotics competition. It's an international competition of robot building where you build a robot and it's designed to complete certain tasks in a play area that's about 20 by 40, 20 feet by 40 feet. And you just got to complete whatever the task it is for that year. I think they've been going for about 20 something years now with FIRST. So I think that's a pretty good history. It's fun. I'm looking forward to it. Our team is a lot smaller from what I've heard than it used to be. So that'll be a bit of a challenge, but I think we can do it. I'm looking forward to seeing what all we can do with our bot this year.
Oh, I think that made a big difference.
It did.
So, yeah, one of the things that we didn't start the team, just so you know.
We joined a team.
We joined a team, but shout out to Pearl River Robotics because a lot of teams wouldn't let us join because Jack's homeschooled, so which is kind of odd. So they were kind enough to let us join, and we're going to try to do a good job there, participating and fundraising and trying to do things. It's a good mission to help kids learn a lot of the STEM stuff to get into robotics and learn about some of these other positions that are out there for engineering, mechanical, electrical, marketing. I mean, the robotics program, I think, covers quite a bit of stuff. Also, had to buy a new pair of these.
Both of us.
So Jack was wearing his one day, and they just
lens
shattered on him while I was wearing them. So that we had to get that. But I did get these, and I did choose. You can see it. Because
is that the right side? It's the other side.
Is it the other side?
Yeah,
it's the other side. I did because Jack and I would always confuse whose sunglasses were.
Oh, it's faint.
It's very, very faint, but if you can see it. So I put my initials on it so I wouldn't be wearing Jack's sunglasses. Well, come to find out, when you do that, you get like, let me see yours, Jack. You'll see the finish between these Ray-Bans.
You got matte and I got.
They switch from matte to shiny finish. So that's even easier to be able to tell. But
which is interesting because this is actually not a black plastic. It's a red plastic.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think the lenses are green.
It's a green crystal, and the frames are a red plastic. When you hold it up to light, it's red, which is interesting.
So, Jack, I might need you to put some comments back to people because I don't think I'm going to be doing it. So, is Fusion Viper still with us? I see, what is that, Nanu? Or are we doing Mr. Spock?
I think you can go with both. I think
is that going to be firm both? So.
I think both are acceptable.
Well, so SpaceX SpaceX has done a lot. They've been launching Falcon 9s like crazy. Again, my model Falcon 9, that one launched, went up, landed.
And
It's
then
hard
it
to
went boom boom.
Well, it didn't really go boom boom as much as it went, because I think it had landed.
Boom boom on the pad.
No, it didn't even boom boom on the pad. I think it landed perfectly, and on
And
the way back,
rolled.
So I did see. I think Scott Manley did a video on it, and he thought maybe one of the legs didn't completely lock down because it looked like one of the legs might have been bent. I'm not sure that SpaceX ever came out with a complete answer of what was going on.
I don't think they've had problems with that before, but then again, this is one of the most reused boosters. I think it had about 19 launches on it. Let's see. This is booster
Was it 11?
1058.
1058.
Let's see how many times it launched.
That's a decent one. I want to show you something
19
else.
times.
19 times. That's
with the average reuse time of 72 days. So you're talking just a little bit over 2 months. And they are sending it back up with more Starlink.
And that the one with the NASA worm logo originally flew Crew 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was the Crew 1 booster. So that's what put the U.S. rocket program back into space for carrying manned missions. So the question again, I'll ask you, would you rather ride a new Falcon 9 or a used Falcon 9? Remember, the landing wasn't a failure. Even if it failed on landing, the rocket still worked. It sent its payload to orbit, which is its job. The reusability and rapid reusability, like Elon Musk says, most people throw away the airplane after they fly it. Very expensive to do it that way. So this is one of the differences. So I did want to show you something. So we did get a little time to do this. This is something we got to do a little bit of, taking a little bit of time to go out and catch a few of these. So Jack has definitely been catching his share of fish lately. There's another one that he caught.
Might be the same picture. No,
I got tons of these.
No, pictures. We caught about 5 or 6 that day.
Another one he caught. So he's been doing pretty good at catching these drum, and they would like swim through and try to get you one that you can see how big. So like this is like an average size one. So he's been doing really good with it.
Luckily, it was cold. Well, it's cold. It's winter. But luckily, the water was quite cold, so the fish didn't fight as much as they should have.
Another one. So he's been doing real good with a lot of this fish, and that's been. There's another one.
That's a fun
fun occurrence to catch these fish.
It's a fun hobby.
It is. So I did introduce Jack to something new. So we did go on a cruise for Christmas up the Mississippi River, and we had gotten a record player. So we've been kind of listening to a lot of old records, but I did want Jack to hear Alice's Restaurant.
Which is abnormally long.
It is a very long song, but you can get what you want at Alice's Restaurant, right?
I don't really know if it's a song.
It's Harlow Guthrie. So, he also did the train called the City of New Orleans. He's got a lot of different songs, but so that was one of the things we did. I ended up getting a coffee grinder for Christmas. So my brother Rick had one, and I think he had made one too for my parents. So it was kind of cool, but I ended up buying one. Let me see if I can
scroll down.
Show you what that looks like. So I ended up getting a little coffee grinder that's right next to our
Lego bonsai.
Our bonsai tree, which I think we like the purple one better, but Jack, I think occasionally we'll change the colors.
It's seasonal. In the winter it's purple, and during the hot months of the summer it's green.
And so we had a really good time on the paddle wheel. We had let's see if I can get a picture of the paddle wheel to show everybody, because the paddle wheel. Oh, we did get Jack this.
A new hat.
What kind of hat was it?
It is a Dobbs. I don't know.
Dobbs Fifth Avenue or
It's
something
a,
like that.
yeah, it's a Dobbs Fifth Avenue, I think.
Yeah.
A Jet 707. It was a
So
interesting story that went with it. We were in Natchez, and one of the town doctors had bought this hat brand new from the hat shop in Natchez, Almonds, and he put it in his closet, never to be worn. Still has the original price tag in it from 1980 something. I think it's about 40 years old. And this lady who we bought the hat from had gone to his house and bought all of his hats. And I happened to buy one of them. And it's a very nice hat.
the chat's still coming. Okay. So here was something else we did. We ordered another 3D printer,
Ooh, that was fun.
another Lulzbot, and when it came in,
It was destroyed.
it was suboptimal.
It's a cracked
So
bed.
the bed had cracked. The print head had gone through the bed. The box had been the seller. I sent him a picture of. He's like, "Oh, somebody's unpacked that and redone that," and so it was a complete mess. They ended up just. He said, "Just keep the printer. There's really not much value there." And just refunded our money, but it was kind of a bad experience because it looks like somebody might have dropped it from, say,
A 50-story building.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. And then I wanted to show you. So Jack had a goal of going swimming on a boat. So
I've never been swimming on a boat.
He went swimming on the steamboat. It was kind of cold, but I think the pool was warm. I didn't go. And we also took one of the nights. This is from the outside on the railing outside. So I ended up upgrading our cabin one night, and we ended up with the suite on the corner of the back of the boat, and that was a pretty cool thing. So like this was the back of our window out the back of it. It was
a
cool.
fun trip.
So my favorite thing was just to sit there and watch this paddle wheel go by. Let's see. I thought I had a longer video of it. Look at a wake coming off of that thing. So I think about 60% of the power comes from the paddle wheel, if I'm not mistaken.
And each of the Z drives, which are directional electric thrusters, those provide 20% per. There's two of them, one on the port, one on the starboard, in the stern.
So that's the paddle wheel running. Not very space related, but still really cool because there's not many of these steamboats left.
It's a different technology.
Yeah, it's
yes, the printer was nearly free.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to put a couple parts on it.
I have to buy a new print bed.
$200 worth of parts, and then we're off. Well, it might be a little bit more than that because our extruder is kind of messed up.
One of the things is with the price of 3D printing coming down, it definitely having to buy a new print bed and all would definitely raise the cost of a free printer. So
free printers
I think we'd be
nice.
looking at about $250, and just for the print head, and not even the print head, just the bed and the PEI, because it has a heating element on it. Excuse me.
Yes, the paddle wheel was quite loud, especially while it was running. You're talking about 50-foot long pieces of wood just going through the water.
Yeah, the American Queen is the name of the boat we went on. So we had gone on it several times before, but before Jack went off to college in the next couple of years, I wanted to have the whole family go. So what was your thoughts on going on a paddle wheel?
I thought it was fun. It's something different. It's not something you can really do all that much anymore. You have, I think, left, you have the Natchez Creole Queen. Is there any other ones besides the Natchez and the Creole Queen?
Maybe one or two other little showboats.
Those are just showboats, not no voyaging cruises.
Well, I think there may be the Empress or the Duchess may do it. So there's a few boats, but it is definitely a different time. I mean, it's a time when we start looking at um, the river being the main section of commerce in the United States. I mean, if you think about the time that when the river was there, it was, we had Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, they have the Duchess, and the Duchess is kind of
But I don't know if the Duchess
kinda
is steam
plain.
powered or electric powered, but so when we went out west, right? So the Mississippi River was the key to most of the United States.
yeah, the newer
It
boats.
was you could take products all the way from the Northeast, through is that the Ohio River system, and then come down. There's also the other river, and I can't think of what it is.
No, there is not a casino.
No casino, no midnight buffet. It's an older crowd on board. Super friendly staff. Just cannot say enough about this staff. Just the company takes really good for everybody. Who told me the company takes really good care of their employees, and you can see it. You have people. So, as everybody knows, Maggie has a little trouble walking. When Maggie got on and off of that boat, one of the deckhands, Snoop, he was just as concerned about her, if not more, of her getting off that boat than I would be. And that's a lot. And so that really impressed me. There was just quality people. I mean, we had a really nice time. It was a great way to spend the holidays. I will tell you, the Mississippi River was low. So it had gone up a little bit when we were on it. But I think on one of the cruises, the cruise before, they couldn't even get into the port at Vicksburg. That's hard. We had to change one of our ports. We were supposed to go to St. Francisville, and we ended up going to Port Coupee instead. And we just, with Maggie with the walk, and we just decided to stay on board. So I told the kids we'd drive over there one day and go take a look around, because I think there's an outboard motor museum there. And I wouldn't mind going and check that out.
I do remember that. That was an interesting thing that would be fun to go to. Like, kind of random, but why not? It'd be fun.
So we did a little junking. I don't know, junking is the right word, antiquing. So Jack ended up getting his hat.
And that's about it.
I got my Alice's restaurant. Oh, I also got it. I don't have it with me right here. Is my Opinel. I ended up finding an Opinel knife. Found my coffee grinder. There was a few things that we found on the way. Lots of shopping. I need coffee. Either that or I need a nap. What do y'all vote for? A nap or coffee? What is better these days? Let's see what the chat says. Anybody going to vote? Is nap or coffee? Do a poll. See if you can get.
Can I do? I can do polls.
See,
yeah.
Well, let's see. What is better these days in the afternoon? Coffee or a nap?
Well,
or I'd suffer through
it. Yes is coffee. No is nap.
Okay, so coffee would be yes. Nap is no.
I kind of.
Or is it backwards?
No.
Tell people.
Nap is no.
Nap is no. Nap is no.
The ends.
I'm voting no. Nap is always good. Naps are for winners. Maybe when I was younger it wasn't, but now I think it's coffee is definitely my favorite thing. But if I had to choose between a nap, can I have both? That would be my answer. Both.
It would be nap then coffee.
Nap then coffee. So, we wanted to bring everything up to date on Rocket Van, so we're going to be a little bit busy. We're going to sell. We have bought a bigger boat, because everybody wanted to go fishing with us, but we've never used it but once. So I'm tired of paying insurance on something we don't use. Hitting the road. We have our old grocery getter, which is a Ford Freestyle I bought new back in 2007.
Great car.
It's been a great car, wonderful car. But we're going to get something a little newer, to have a backup. The van's got 170,000 miles on it now. So if it goes into the shop for any reason, I might be a couple weeks without a car. It's not easy to rent cars like it used to be. So I can't rely on that too much. So I think we're going to get another car in the next week or so. and we're going to sell also at Spanky, which was our Mercedes
300D.
300D that when was in my mom's yard, and my brother had never been paid for it, so we worked that out. I'm going to put that for sale because I am tired of paying monthly notes on things that we don't use.
Get another van.
Get another van. Who wants another
Think
van?
Train.
Who?
Think Train says get another van.
The Think Train says another van. I have other plans. Matter of fact, I've already executed those plans. So come Wednesday, we are picking up a new car, and we are excited about said car. So
should we make a video on said car?
Yeah, I think we should make a video on said car. And not a Jeep. Nope, we're not getting a Jeep. We're going to do something a little bit different. So we will do a video on it after we get it, but we are excited about it. And we won't get it till Wednesday. Actually, they sent me a text a minute ago. It might be Thursday. So I'll have to do
Nope,
it.
not a Rivian.
I do like a Rivian. That is
Rivians are an interesting vehicle. I like the pickup truck. I think it's a good idea. Like the Cybertruck, I think it's a good idea, but there's until you get a long range battery, I don't think it's really a viable option for what a pickup truck is. A pickup truck is supposed to carry lots of cargo and go a long range.
There is
and I don't think you can do that with lots of batteries, and because the batteries on their own are pretty much your cargo.
There's a very big word that I dislike very, very much. It's called depreciation. And so like right now, if you buy a Cybertruck, right? So you have to buy, and nothing wrong with the Cybertruck or anybody buying one, because I think that's cool as hell. But you're basically paying $20,000 for basically to be a rock star anywhere you drive. That's because you have one of the coolest vehicles out there. You're paying a $20,000 premium on top of the already premium model. Now, if you're not worried about the depreciation or something like that, you're doing videos or making content. Man, the Cybertruck is a beast. I mean, everything I can see. I was watching.
Beast.
Yeah, Cyber Beast. I was watching it tow. That's impressive. If you run a small business and you're just hopping around, like if you're a contractor in our city, like say in our 25 to 30 mile range area, like, from Bay St. Louis up to the Kill, like the lower Kill part, Diamond Head.
Give it 3 hours and you can get one secondhand for less.
And you can tow a job and never put fuel in and charge it every time. I mean, you can charge it at the job site. I mean, it's game changing. So I definitely think that
give it 3 years.
The Cybertruck.
Yeah, give it 3 years.
I would prefer a Cyber van. So just think the Cybertruck, and instead of putting that back where it comes down like that, just make it go up. I would like it. There is, oh my word, there is another little car we found. What was it? The little bus. X bus.
There was the X bus and the other one.
Yeah, the X bus. So let me see if I can pull this up. I'm gonna show you a picture of this. This might be the coolest thing. This is one of I think this is a European only model because we have some laws like this. If you think about the 3-wheel motorbikes, they kind of fall under a special exemption for being car leg, but not car. So there's another one called the Aptera, which is really cool. It's made in California, but it's a solar powered car. And I think it's also fallen under this 3-wheel exemption. Potential motors. So I'm going to show you a picture of that, but let me first show you the X bus because this thing is amazing. So I would buy one of these, and they're not very expensive, like $18,000 car. But just for tooling around town, check out this little thing.
It's cute.
And so they were really smart how they did it. So I watched a lot of videos. I'm gonna put some pictures here, but they offer it with a lot of different cargos. So this, for example, would be the camper cargo.
It kind of looks like a VW bus.
So this is the actual vehicle. Okay, so when you see the vehicle, that's the the vehicle. So it's let me see if I can get one in.
That might not be the best. Oh, they right there.
Let me get one in a different color because it might be easier. This one actually has a pickup truck on the back, but if you look underneath this pickup truck section here, that's actually just a module. So it's the truck on top and the bottom of it, and that's the actual vehicle. So they can keep the weight down to stay in a certain class. Everything above the back, including additional batteries for range,
is cargo.
And so they all fit within cargo.
And because you cannot have any more than 3 persons in one micro vehicle, they have included 3 seats.
So actually, you can have more because then you put them in the cargo, right?
Oh, so then you.
So this is the passenger van. So it's just a little electric. I think it probably has a 100-mile range. But I mean, if you're just cruising around the city and you're not going very far, now I do know we're getting Teslas now with 500 to 600-mile ranges on like I think of course that's probably the Roadster, but I think most of them probably have a 300 to 400-mile range on the long range ones. And we can pull up some numbers on that, but the ranges are going really good. But I mean, most, like for us, we drive 100 miles maybe most of the time, unless we're going on a road trip. So that definitely that mileage, the mileage on that little car would be worse. I don't think you could drive that in the United States, though. It would have, there's a lot of difference between the European and the.
I think it might be considered unsafe here.
I wanted to show you the Aptera. So this is really cool. I got a coworker, Michael, who I think they have one on order, and it's just a solar powered car, and it's really cool. It's small, but if you're just driving around and you want to see,
that is interesting. I've never heard of that before.
See if I can get you a picture of it because images. It is a really cool car.
Very aerodynamic. You said it was solar
powered? It's solar powered. So on the hood and on the back window is all solar cells. It's got 2 seats. It's very aerodynamic. It's 3-wheeled. I watched some people test drive it the other day. It was they were really pleased with it. They let me give you an idea. Somebody walking in there, sitting in it.
I wonder what the speed of it is.
It's probably pretty quick. It's an electric, so 0 to 60 on most of these cars is probably pretty good. I mean, that one mainly because they're trying to keep it low. They may have a pretty.
It's 172 inches long, so that's what?
172 would be
18 feet.
18 feet.
Yeah, that seems a bit long. 18 feet. Yeah, no.
6 plus
17 feet.
8. 6 plus 8, like
17 feet.
Maybe 14 feet.
I don't know. Well, I don't know where my brain is going.
I don't know where my brain is, but I'm gonna do the math.
It's 172 inches long.
172 divided by 12.
88 inches wide, so it's got a nice size. You can get different range options: 1,600, 400, and 250.
14.33333333 feet.
It got 0 stars on the safety.
Well, it's probably because they haven't tested it yet. There's quite a few.
Top speed is up to 160 kilometers an hour. So what's that? 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. What is it? That's 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's whipping for a little car. I mean, I think I had one car that would do 0 to 60 in like 2.4 minutes.
3.5 seconds, 0 to 60.
40 XP. 0 to 60, 2.4 minutes. It may not quite have been that bad, but it felt like it. 0 to 60 is something. I will tell you, if you ever get an electric car and you get a chance to drive one and you hit the accelerator, it's breakneck.
It goes.
It go. We got a little dog in the neighborhood named Go, and that's what they do.
It goes.
It's definitely one of those things. Electric vehicles are really, really interesting. I mean, we drive an electric vehicle pretty much every day of the summer, a golf cart. So, one of the things that most people don't think about with electric cars is you switch over to one pedal driving. And so if you're not familiar with one pedal driving,
it's where you have regenerative braking. So it's like push on the accelerator, brake comes off, take your foot off the accelerator, brake goes back on.
Yeah. So we bought Maggie when she graduated because she loves to ride around and listen to music. So we bought a golf cart that she could have some underglows on, some music, so she could, just tool around the yard. So when we first got it, it didn't have regenerative braking on. So you would go, and it was like a car. If you didn't hit the brake, you were going. When regenerative braking or one pedal driving is on, when you take your foot off the accelerator, the car is naturally slowing down. You have to be adding to it because it's always having. If you're not adding power, it's starting to create power to charge the batteries back. So that is a cool feature. There's a lot of technology out there. We haven't even got into AI. We haven't got into a lot of the computer science stuff that's coming out. We haven't, I know we cover rockets, but God, what an interesting time to live. I think it's that old curse. May you live in interesting times. And I would say these might be the most interesting.
AI is a strange thing, and that's just AI.
So there's this new little device. I don't know if anybody's seen it.
I kind of want to order it.
I kind of want to order it too. So if you look,
it's called the Rabbit R1.
If you look at the zeitgeist of what people are looking at. So this is the Rabbit R1. This is a LLM, large language model. Okay, so you hear ChatGPT, think LLM. Okay, you'll hear LLM all the time, and these people at Rabbit have their own LLM they've created. There's a keynote speech that the CEO of this company, young man, gives this speech, and he's showing the Rabbit R1, and he's talking about how, okay, I want to order a pizza. Just give me the most common pizza, have it delivered. And it goes, okay, I've ordered you a pizza. And just to let you know, it's a cheese pizza because that was the most common, and it'll be here at whatever time. That was his interaction with it. And it did the rest. It made the call, ordered the pizza.
You put all of your information in, any accounts that you'd use it for, and then you're good to go.
And then it's good to go. So he didn't order the pizza. He didn't use an app to order the pizza.
He asked somebody to order a pizza.
And I don't know if Rabbit texted a pizza order in, filled out the form to order a pizza, made a call to order the pizza, how it did it. So he goes into an even more complex example. And he says, okay, I want to go to Europe. I want to go to London. I need you to book me airfare to London for 2 weeks. I need hotels at a really nice hotel. And I need a SUV or a large car, family car. And I need
family-friendly
2 adults and 1 child, 12 years old. And we want to fly coach class out of some city in the U.S. to London. And I want to stay there 2 weeks. And I want you to handle all the travel arrangements, bookings, and then give me things so I can approve them. So a few seconds says, okay, I'm done. And so it asked him to approve his airfare. It asked him to approve his car. It asked him to approve his hotel. He just clicked confirm, confirm, confirm. And his whole trip was booked. I mean, we're talking 15 to 20 seconds.
If that.
He's just booked.
The majority of his time was telling it what he wanted.
Yeah, and it's all done through natural language. So you'll hear a lot of NLP. AI has a lot of keywords, a lot of abbreviations, a lot of things that just throw you off. Just know that this is very different. And this is going to replace, the way Rabbit sees it is they're looking at replacing the smartphone. So you look at one of these. So I've been searching and Googling and doing stuff like that. If I would say something like, Rabbit, show me a picture of this, and it just pops up. Hey, Rabbit, I need show somebody riding a bike. If you can't find a picture, make one. Here you go. Those particular things are the coming in AI. You're going to see large language models be able to do a lot more stuff on it. I do think they have a a lot of power to them. A lot of chances for mathematical reasoning. So, if you ask somebody what their favorite color was, they could tell you what their favorite color was. An LLM will probably tell you, I don't have a preference, but if I had to pick, it might be orange or green or purple or whatever. All subjective stuff. You ask an LLM what 1 + 1 is, it'll tell you 2 because it's been trained that 1 + 1 = 2.
But you could not give it a regular, for example, algebra equation and tell it to solve it. Well, I don't know how.
If it knows how to solve it because it's been done before, because it's got a vector database where the most probable instance. So when you look at the way these LLM work, it's just probability. What is the most next probable word or phrase or couple phrases, and maybe go back a couple tokens to look at it. Look at how the most probable sentence comes in. Like, so if I start off a sentence says I, probably the most highly probable word would be am. That would be what would come next. Now it could be was, it could be any of these things, but this is how the LLMs work. They just string together a bunch of probable tokens or vectors that are all related, and it puts them in. This gives a different way at looking at looking at how a large language model works. They can be more complex than this, but in the end, they're just taking a corpus of text, all the text of, there's a lot of lawsuits flying around about where the text came from, actually. So, because some of it might have been copyrighted, and then how do we look at AI for copyright? There's a lot of questions that, like I said, these might be the most interesting of times. I did see there's a horror movie with Winnie the Pooh in it. I'm like, how did they do that? Anybody see that? Well, come to find out, it's copyright expired on some of the, according to the article I read, a couple of the copyrights on some of these old books have expired, which I believe Steamboat Willie hit now too. So some of the Mickey Mouse copyrights gone too. So, and I heard that there's already a horror movie on it. So it kind of does the same thing. Disney has a tendency to have taken old copyright or public domain works and then turn them into new works. And so now I believe that other people are going to take some of their works, now that they're public domain, and also make new works.
What Disney has done for the entire time of their, not the entire time, but a majority of their starting was from fairy tales. So
yeah, I mean,
keep moving.
That's how things progress. That's where it is.
I did see they were still continuing to use Snow White. They're making a new Snow White.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stay out of any political stuff with Disney or anything like that. But their goal is to sell tickets to movies. That's it. Sell tickets to theme parks. Whatever they do is up to them, but that's their goal. They're a publicly traded company that has to answer to the shareholders about selling whatever. So if a story is going to be good, tell a good story. Sell tickets. I think this year, we didn't see the Barbie movie. The girls went to see the Barbie movie. I want to see it, but Jack and I chose to go see Oppenheimer.
Which I think was excellent. One of the best movies.
Excellent.
Of the decade, I guess.
Yeah, that was an excellent movie. If you haven't seen Oppenheimer, highly recommend it. Just
it's an interesting
really
story.
Good. It's a little bit long, but I don't know that you can tell that much story without
in a short period of time.
I think the actors did an incredible job.
I think it won the movie of the year.
Oh, did it?
I think so.
Yeah. I always love when movies give themselves awards. Who do we think did the best?
Me. I did the best.
What if nobody did? Do we still give the award? Yes, we did.
Yes.
So,
you could make no movies and a movie would still win movie of the year.
Yeah, that's really funny, because sometimes you'll have one year that has 6 amazing movies and you really can't pick the best movie. They're all just incredible. And then you'll have a decade where every movie that comes out is just a turd. And it would seem like you could go back and retroactively give one of the ones that didn't get a big award. one of those things. So what else has been in the zeitgeist lately? We've had movies. We've had the technology. AI is all over everything. I will tell you, stocks. I'm leaning heavily on Tesla and Nvidia. I think those are probably two good buys if anybody's interested. Not a professional stock person, not a professional anything having to do with ever having made a good trade on a stock. So probably don't listen to me, but from a technology standpoint, haven't seen the Tesla robot, having seen the Tesla full self-driving demo of their beta, having seen NVIDIA and NVIDIA cards and how they're changing the world. I do think those are some good technologies. There's this new technology called Gaussian splatting for radiance field rendering. So something I did a paper on my last semester. What it is a radiance field is like you've seen these where you take a few pictures and all of a sudden you have a 3D model where you can kind
Very
of
interesting.
You go through it. You see it often on like realtor.com or stuff like that where you can walk around and look at a photo of a house and kind of peer around it. Even though it wasn't taken as a motion,
Video.
it's just taken from several cameras. They use something called structure from motion where they create a point cloud. So this is the Gaussian splatting. So the old way of doing it was called a NERF. And NERF would render at like a certain frames per second or actually seconds per frame. So say you get one frame every 2 seconds. With Gaussian splatting, you can get something like 120 frames per second. Well, what that makes a difference is if you don't have complete information, you can use it to interpolate it through the splatting, which a splat is kind of like a circle of information. And the Gaussian means that it's kind of how it delivers the information to it. Oh, look at this.
What did you do?
Oh, yeah. So I have a friend of mine, Lou. He at work, he has this on one of his computers, and he'll do this. Let me see if it does it. One of these will do. It's like this.
Did it do it for
one of these? Will like throw a party or like a hairband party.
Try to do the.
This one will be okay, I think. Let's see if it'll do it.
No.
Are we fancy?
Try to
I know I can do this. Peace.
Does it do it here?
Let's see if OK will do it here.
It did it there. Yep.
Yeah, so this is a new feature in Sonoma.
That's interesting.
For any of you Mac followers, this is a new feature in Sonoma.
Speaking of, I think
great
I
operating
update
system.
My computer.
Don't do it now.
No.
So anyway, I forgot where we were. Something went with balloons popping up over your face makes you forget what you were talking about. But Gaussian splatting. So the Gaussian is just how it moves the information around in like this oval shape for the splat.
Very interesting.
One of the things I did see, and this is kind of, will tell you where I think this is really interesting. So Lex Friedman did an interview with Mark Zuckerberg. And Mark Zuckerberg and Lex, and I'll put a link to it after this live stream is out so you can go watch it. It's probably one of the most interesting. Well, of course, if you're not following Lex, follow him. Unbelievable, the people that he interviews, the thought leaders, the thoughts that are coming out. If you're looking to improve your understanding of the world and some of these intellectual conversations that are happening of current, from computer. Lex is a computer AI person, first and foremost. I mean, he's just a fabulous engineer, MIT, great, stuff like that. His skills at interviewing might actually go past that. He's really good. I mean, he's done interviews with his dad that were just fabulous. He's interviewed Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg,
Kanye
West. I mean, like
that was kind
it started off where he was just doing computer science people because he would do the Hutter, like for the Hutter Prize, and So he would do those. He would interview a lot of these people that were of interest to me because of computer science. But now, because I mean, he's really good at these interviews. Kind of like I think Joe Rogan is the same thing. Joe Rogan used to host that Fear Factor. I think maybe was that what he did. And now, I mean, his podcast is like tops. I mean, that's like A-list celebrity stuff. Matter of fact, I watched a episode where he went out and he shot the Cybertruck with a bow and arrow. That was, I'd seen it been shot with a gun, but I thought bringing out some old school bow and arrow, that was a lot of energy it blocked. It was a good demo, very well done. Also, another thing is, did anybody see the Porsche? Okay, so I've seen people try to dispel Tesla's marketing of, maybe they weren't being completely transparent. Maybe they didn't say what model Porsche it was. Maybe they were doing an eighth mile instead of a quarter mile. With my own two eyes, I saw a Cybertruck
beat a Porsche in an eighth mile.
At least in an eighth mile while towing it. And I can tell you, if you've ever towed anything, that's not easy. I mean, getting off the line, even with a big, big truck. I mean,
you couldn't do that with like a Super Duty F-250. That'd be.
You got a lot of mass you're moving. So think about this: the Cybertruck is a super heavy vehicle. The Porsche 911 has its own weight, its own engine.
I think it's about an average weight.
I mean, maybe some people wanted to know how many gallons of fuel were in both the different Porsches to make it sure. But just think about it. This Cybertruck took off from a dead stop, towing a trailer and the Porsche 911, and at least on an eighth mile, beat
the Porsche 911.
The Porsche 911 while it was towing one. Regardless if we go to quarter mile or eighth mile or what the top speed is, or we want to do physics analysis, that's impressive. I mean, having driven trailers, I can tell you, if I needed to get up 0 to 60 and get up to interstate speed, that's impressive. If I can accelerate, pull in a trailer, and get up to speed on the internet, on the internet, you see where my brain goes, on the interstate, if I can do that and be able to do that quickly, I think that's a safety too, to be able to get up to speed, because I think really dangerous merging sometimes if you have these. There's one here at I-10 and 603 when you come in past by Stennis, that exit at exit 2 heading westbound is a very short exit. So if you have 2 lanes of traffic and they're going like this, you have a very short period of time to merge in. I think there's been several accidents there. They really need to do something about it. That would be very helpful to be able to do that, to be able to merge and get up to speed quicker. That's where I see most of those things really useful, and that was good. There's so many topics right now, and we hope to kind of bring this back and really focus on doing it. So just because the amount of topics, I think the Rocket Van is going to cover a lot of stuff.
It is going to evolve.
It's going to evolve. We got robots. We got rockets. I mean,
science.
This one over here was asking how he could throttle a solid rocket engine.
It's a very interesting problem. It's kind of counterintuitive how you do it.
Yeah, I think it is an interesting problem because solid rocket boosters,
they're extremely reliable.
Very, very reliable. But when you push go, there ain't no stop. So
you gotta put that stop button in.
Jack had ways that he thought might be useful